So in this lesson, we're gonna walk you through the Databricks Hello World tutorial, but in a notebook. And I'll show you how to create the notebook and how to run it in the Databricks. So first things first, you need to head towards portal.azure.com. This is where you're gonna start your Databricks workspace. So when you log in, you should be already logged in by now after you have created your account. So all you need to do here is, oops. So yeah, so go to Databricks, you should see it. If you didn't find it, you should search for Databricks and you should see it in the first list. So you open there. This is the workspace that we have created. You click on the workspace and there is the launch workspace button. So click launch workspace and you can tell. Now you don't really have to go through this all the time. So all you need to do is just bookmark this URL. So you can bookmark it here and say Databricks, okay, done. So it's bookmarked. You don't really have to go to the portal every single time. You just bookmark this URL and you can go, right? Now we are here in Databricks. We just logged in, right? So all you need to do, you see here, switch to data science and engineering if you're not already there, and then you're gonna see quick guide, quick start tutorial. This is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna click start tutorial, and it will create a notebook. That's the notebook here, right? Now this is just a new feature, like tip of the day kind of thing. So try it. All right, so I'm going to show you some stuff. Anyway, this is the quick start tutorial. If you remember, we have created a cluster before, right? So connect here, you should click on your cluster and it will connect to the cluster. If the cluster is not started, click and go here and start. It's already started. In my case, I already started before the lesson, so it's already started for me. But in your case, it will be probably stopped. So just you'll see start appears here. You just click start and it will automatically start, right? This is the hello world of Databricks, and it's a notebook. Now, if you're not familiar with what is a notebook, it's like a place where it mixes code and documentation and results in the same place. It's not like the similar one you would use for a normal Java code or a C++ code or Python code. When you write the code only, right? If you don't do comments, you add double slashes or hash or something like that. No, it's like a very organized way to write code. And it's very useful, especially for data engineering and data science. So it's already pre-created. I showed you the first time how to create a workspace, a notebook. In Databricks, you just go there, go to your home button. You'll see here, this is the tested deployment, the notebook from last time. This is the quick start notebook, the one that we already see on the screen here. And every notebook in Databricks have a default language. If you see here, quick start notebook has a SQL. That means unless you say otherwise, everything you're gonna write here is a SQL, right? So you can change. Usually it's not recommended that you change after you created. Whenever you create a new notebook, set the language first, right? So this is a default by SQL. What if you wanted to switch to Python? Now the answer here is, I'll show you. You add %Python. This is called a magic command. So in Databricks, you can, if you start with a SQL, you can magic command Python, Scala, and R. If you use the Python, you can magic command SQL, Scala, and R, and so on. So if this is defaulted Python, I would like %SQL and write SQL. You can also do it here. Every cell, you can change the language at the cell level, not at the whole notebook level, which is really helpful because sometimes you need to switch between Python and SQL and maybe R, is really, and Scala, it's very useful to do that. So this is the notebook, right? And we're going to run this notebook. Whenever you want to write, again, %MD is another magic command. If you want to write documentation, so %MD and you write documentation, right, in a markup language, like this one as well, %MD, and you write, and Databricks automatically understands that there is like a markup language coming, right? There is a table of content here, so if you want to see, you can jump to the the specific cell that you wanted to go to. Very helpful to navigate the notebook. Anyway, so Of course, so whenever you put a documentation here, it's automatically rendered, right? But if you want like to run a code cell, right? So a code cell specifically will have a run button here. So you can select run this cell, or that's my favorite, is you can shift and enter. So like this one, I'm gonna click, I'm gonna do it in the screen now, shift and enter. You see, it will run the command and jump to the next cell, right? Which is kind of useful if you wanna like, you don't wanna, you can like a key shortcut, keyboard shortcut. So this cell, what it will do is, it's a typical SQL. So if you understand SQL, you will see this is very typical SQL. We're just dropping a table called diamonds. This is a common data set, comes with Databricks called diamonds dataset. So we're dropping the table diamonds, then we're creating a table diamond using CSV. That means this table format, data format is a CSV. The data that we're reading is a CSV. And there is an option, the path is, this is the path, right? And it has a header. This is like reading, loading a CSV table called diamonds using CSV, right? When you run it, Spark job started, okay, it means that it's run. Now you can select from it, so you can shift and enter again. You see this populated. Notebooks have a good feature of keeping the results from the previous run, right? So everything that you run, you'll see that it will be, you know, having, so this one, for example, last time someone ran it was a user on the 15th of June 2021, right? So when you run it, you get your results. So you see here, this is the kind of table you'll see, right? So everything here as a table. Databricks treats pretty much, when you run SQL, it's very beautiful. You see the tables as a table result, right? So we selected asterisk from diamonds. Maybe if you wanted to, let's see, depth. So we can maybe select maximum depth, just demonstrating that it's a typical SQL environment. So you can run whatever SQL you want. You can do whatever, you know, data analysis you want using SQL here. So get the max depth, and you see it here. Now I'm gonna switch to Python this time. So I'm gonna just read the same, do the same thing, but in Python. So I'm creating in Python, it's not a table, it's called a data frame. And a data frame, you can think of it as a table in memory, right? You can do operation, but accessible to you by Python. And the command to do that is spark.read.c. This is really typical PySpark code, right? Nothing really special here. PySpark code, spark.read, I'm giving it the same path. I'm saying headers equal true, infer schema equal true, right? So now it's gonna read the whole thing and put it inside diamonds data frame, right? Then I'm gonna write data frame on the disk as a delta table. Now we're gonna come to this later, but delta table is one of the formats. You can specify CSV, you can say Parquet, you can say whatever, you know, JSON, whatever format you wanted to do. So I'm gonna save it in /delta/diamonds. I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna run shift and enter again, run this one. So I'm gonna read it and then write it, right? And now remember the table that we have created, it's already running now. So what it's gonna do like the same thing, read it and then write it. Remember the table that we have created here, create table of net exhaust diamond. This is a table backed up by CSV. That means the command, the data itself is CSV. Now in Databricks, in order to get the best performance, data are best to be backed up by Delta, right? And that's what exactly we did. So we read the file, we read the data frame here, and we saved it as a Delta. Now, because we need this next command is going to be exactly the same command like the above one here, but using the Delta file. So we're going to drop the table, which was already created, and then create a table diamond using Delta. And the location is the Delta location that we just specified here. I'm going to run this one, shift and enter. Now you're going to have a table now called diamond, but now this time diamond is backed up by Delta, right? So we're going to shift, select the asterisk from diamond. You should see now the table on the screen where it's a delta table. So now all the results seen here. Now let's do some analysis, right? Databricks allows, like, because it's a notebook, you can actually do some graphs here. So I'm going to select the color, the average as price from diamond group by. So basically the diamond color average price. So I'm going to run this one. I'm going to display the result as a graph. So here is, you see the graph. How we do that? You just create, you see this visualization here, right? You can add, create, you can see a table. So if you want to see the table, the actual data, right? So you just specify the like the format that you wanted to do. So there is a bar, there's a table, you can add more. So I'm going to add visualization. You can literally do anything you want here. So maybe let's do a pie chart. Very nice. So I'm going to save, right? So now it become a pie chart. I'm going to call it I don't know, diamonds pie chart. Very nice visualization. Databricks allows you to add multiple visualizations. The raw data is here, visualization, and the bars, diamonds, buys, and so on. Very nice. You can maximize it, you can minimize it, you know. Very nice to visualize the data. There is also something else. Let me actually do it here. So there is, we can add visualization, click data profile. What is data profile? So let's do data profile, see if it will work. Yeah, I think it needs, hold on. Yeah, so now fetching the result. Yeah, here you go. So this is a data profile. This is a much more in-depth analysis of your data. Like it gives you, okay, count, how many counts per table, how many percent message like null, what is the mean value, standard deviation, zeros, minimum, maximum, median, really an through analysis of every single column in your data. This is really helpful if you are a data scientist, right? It's really helpful. So it gives you a good overview of your data, and it runs, I think it runs Panda Profiler, so it's very useful. People who are familiar as who works as a data scientist are really familiar with this one. So really cool to have it like handy like this one, right? So all you just need to do is just create the Panda profiles or the data profile, right? Now let's do something more. So we're going to create, this is actually the same command. We're just creating a data frame from this CSV file. We did it before, but let's try it again. So we're going to create a data frame called diamonds, right? And it's going to read the same files. We're going to infer the schema. We'll do all the usual stuff, right? And you can do the same using Bash. I think this is how demonstrate that you can do the same graphs and everything using SQL and also using Python. So it's up to you to decide which one you wanted to use. So again, you can do here from PySpark function average, diamond, the display diamond, that select color, price, group by color. You can do the same thing with Python. And that's pretty much it. This is the hello world of Databricks. You got to know that Databricks notebooks are very rich, supports multiple languages, have a lot of features for visualization, for data analysis, and for displaying the thing. By the way, if you wanted to run, I run it cell by cell, but if you wanted to run it all, you can click run all, like I do now, and you'll see that every single cell is executing. You see running command, running command. So it means that the notebook will execute top down from the first cell to the last cell if you wanted to run it all at once, right? Rather than doing like shift and enter. And also if you wanted to run here in this cell, you can run everything before this cell or everything after this cell. Very useful if like your notebook failed in the middle and you don't want to like repeat the whole steps again. You just want to run after or run before. So it's very good to do that. So this is pretty much, this is the Hello World notebook from Databricks, and I see you at the next lesson.